Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you're watching this video. My name is Suzanne. I work for MVP Athletic Clubs down in the Villages at Brownwood. And today I'm going to lead you through about 55-minute gentle yoga class. I'll give you some options to make it a little bit harder if you like it and a little bit easier if you need it. We're going to start on the floor, so have a seat. There's not going to be any music today, so if you are somebody who really likes to have a little bit of music with you in yoga, please feel free to grab your own playlist off your phone or iPhone or Android, whatever you got. I always like to practice with some sort of yoga block. But if you don't have that, some sort of pillow from your couch will work, that you can just kind of slide underneath your rear end, just so that it makes your low back a little bit easier to be in a supported position. I also like to practice with a yoga strap, but a towel or a belt or any sort of strap will work. So tie, maybe, if you have that. So you can just put that to the side. So we're just going to start with your palms up, your eyes shut. Palms up actually if the sun is shining or the sun is up. So if you're practicing with me during the day, then your palms are up. If you turn this video on in the evening and the sun has set, go ahead and put your palms down on your thighs. And just take a big inhale and a big exhale through your mouth. So let's just do that on your own breath, inhaling through your nose, and a big ah through your mouth as you exhale. And just repeat that a couple of times. And then let's try to just take that nasal breath. So you're going to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Trying to take the fullest, most complete breath you can at any given moment. You can place a hand on your belly if that feels comfortable for you, feeling your belly expand. And then slightly pushing that belly in towards your spine to let go of all of your breath. And then just repeat that, trying to keep your shoulders relaxed and noticing what you're thinking about. And then try to push all those thoughts away. Trying to just focus on your breath. And every time your mind wanders away, you just notice that it's happening and bring your focus right back to your breath. Today you're just going to focus on doing your best. You're just in your own house with your own people or all by yourself, so nobody's going to judge you. You should not judge you. So let's turn your palms down on your thighs if they're not already there, and just tip your head over to one side. Inhale your head back up through center and over to the opposite side. And then just repeat that on your own breath. You're going to inhale to center And exhale as you drop your head, feeling that nice stretch of the sides of your neck. So very, very important to warm up your spine and your neck. So we're just going to do that nice and gently today. When your head gets over to the right side, you're going to leave it there. You're going to tip your chin down towards your chest and roll your head around in a little half circle. You're going to come back around to center and over to the opposite side. And then just repeat that. Noticing any little cracks, pops, crinkles in your neck. As long as they don't cause you pain today, it's totally normal. And then when your head gets over to the right side, let's leave it over there. Dropping that left shoulder down. Sitting up nice and tall, pulling your shoulder blades together, maybe taking your right hand, placing it on your head. Taking big, deep breaths. Let's slowly let go of that hand and tip your head over to the opposite side. Again, you can take your left hand, place it on your head. Just tip your head down. Take big, deep breaths. And again, try not to tip forward at all. Try to make sure that that spine stays nice and long. You're nice and tall. And breathe. One more breath. Come on back to center. Hands are going to be right at your side. Your right arm is going to go up and you're going to lean over to that left side. Come on back to center. And then let's lean over to the opposite side. And back through center. So let's inhale up. Exhale as you reach. And then just side to side. Just feeling that length in your torso. Lifting that rib cage off your waist. And breathing. When you lean over, I think, let's say to the right, I think we started leaning to the left. Come on back to center. And then you'll bring both arms up. You'll add a rotation at your waist as you drop both hands down. You're going to inhale back to center and exhale as you twist to the other side. And then just repeat that again on your own breath. Maybe looking up when those hands come to center. Maybe just looking forward, maybe looking down, whatever feels comfortable for your neck. And when you get over to that right side again, we're going to hang out there for a couple of breaths. So your left hand on your right thigh. You push your hips down into your mat, you rise up through your spine and turn your head and your upper body at your waist to look as far back behind you as you can. Feel your belly expand on your inhale. Completely exhale, belly button into your spine. And slowly bring yourself back to center. Go all the way over to the opposite side. So now your right hand on your left thigh. Nice and tall again. Bring those shoulder blades together. Turn your head to look back behind you. the best you can. If you can't look behind you, you're just looking to the side. Maybe you're just looking up over your right or left knee. Doing whatever feels best for you today. Come on back to center, nice and easy. Both arms up on an inhale. And exhale as you just let them go down at the side. One more time like that. And this time, when your arms get up there, let's interlace your fingers and bring your palms together, pulling your shoulder blades apart, looking at the palms of your hand or down at your lap. Really, really opening up the back of your body, your mid and upper back. And then let go of those fingers, open up your arms and look up. Let's exhale back into cat. And inhale as you open up into cow. And then let's just repeat that on your own breath. Inhaling as you open. Exhaling as you fold forward, mid and upper back. Just warming up your spine. It moves laterally, it twists, and then it flexes and extends right here in cat and cow. And one more time. And your hands are just going to go down at your side. So if you're sitting on a block, let's move it away, or that pillow. Let's just move it to the side. Your feet are going to be right out in front of you. Wherever it feels comfortable, knees are bent. Your hands back behind you, fingers pointing whichever way feels good. And you're just going to drop your knees side to side. Just kind of noticing how those hips feel. Again, not making any judgments about how you feel today. And then when you get back to center, just take your right leg, see if you can cross it over your left knee. So maybe you need to straighten that leg a little bit. Sitting up tall, maybe this is what you got today. Maybe this is where you are today. Or maybe this is where you are today. You decide. It is your class, your yoga practice. I'm just going to show you some options and you do what you feel is right. All right, let's unwind that. This side might be the same, might be different. Make sure you're sitting up on those sit bones, so nice and tall. Your left leg, you're going to bend it on your knee, or a little bit higher, actually. You don't want it really right on your knee joint. Right leg is straight or bent. Foot is crossed over or just your foot touching your inner leg. Should just feel a nice stretch of your outer thigh, glutes on that left side. Big deep breaths. All right, you're gonna slowly unwind that. We're gonna lay down on your back. So I'm gonna lay down like this. So feel free to lay however you want, depending on what kind of room you're in. If you have a yoga mat, great. You can lay on it lengthwise. If you don't have a yoga mat, perfectly fine to just lay on your floor or on your carpet, however it works for you. So your hands are gonna be at your side. You're gonna inhale and lift your arms all the way up overhead. And you're gonna exhale and bring them right back down. So a big inhale as you lift your rib cage off your waist, and an exhale as you bring your hands back to your side. Let's do that a couple more times. We've already been warming up your shoulders, but we're just gonna do it a little bit more. Noticing how the right side feels versus the left. And then if you want here, you can add a leg extension. So both arms are going to reach up over your head as your right leg extends away. You're going to bring all that back to center and then extend your opposite leg and both arms up and away. So just nice and slow, you're inhaling as you lengthen and you're exhaling as you come back to center. Eyes open or shut. I always find it's a lot easier to concentrate on your breath with your eyes shut. Try to end with your extension in your left leg. Coming on back to center. And then let's extend both legs. Let's bring your arms up overhead. Since you're facing the ceiling and you're probably in your room all by yourself, I want you to open your mouth and take a big inhale. And then a big ah as you exhale. Take another big inhale, maybe this time through your nose. And a big ah as you exhale. And now I want you to take the tip of your tongue and try to reach your chin. So as you're reaching up and away through your arms, down and away through your feet, either flexing or pointing, just try to take that tongue and try to reach to the tip of your chin. You might let out a little ah. Just releasing some tension in your mouth. Just let that go. Relax your shoulders. Bring your knees bent. So feet are flat on the floor, hands are going to be at your side, and let's just drop your knees side to side again. So you are welcome to stay right here with your feet down. You can start to lift your heels, engaging your core. And then the next step from here, if you'd like, the next level, which does not mean it's better, where you're going to bring your knees up over your hips and drop them halfway and back to center and halfway to the other side and back to center. So you decide what feels good for you. You're going to feel that in your side waist. I do not want you feeling it in your low back. So if bringing your feet all the way off the mat doesn't work for you because you feel it in your low back, I just want you to bring your feet back down. And then the final level, some of you might already be doing it, is just to extend your legs straight or straighter and drop side to side. Your range of motion is going to shorten as those levers get longer. So when you lengthen your legs, you might not be able to drop your legs as far as you could when they were bent. But still feeling, when you drop your legs right, you're going to feel the left side of your waist engage. And then let's come back to center. Give yourself a little hug. So pull those knees in. Drop your tailbone down, relax your shoulders, and then let's turn your feet around your ankle joints in one direction, and then opposite direction. Again, cracks, pops, crinkles, perfectly normal, as long as they're not causing you pain. And then let's extend your legs straight up in the air again. So if this doesn't feel good, bend your knees, maybe even put your feet back down on the mat. But what we're going to try to do here is just lower one leg down at a time, lifting that leg back up, and then the opposite leg down. So just a little core sequence to just work on moving with your breath. So let's try to exhale as you bring the leg up and inhale as you lower the leg down. So again, your option is to bend your knees and just tap your toes. And if even this is too much for you, which is perfectly fine, you can have your knees bent and you can just extend one leg at a time away from you. You decide. You got 2 more on each side, wherever you'd like to be. Make sure that you're breathing. Use your exhale breath to bring that leg back up. And then you're going to bend your knees over your hips. So if your feet were on the floor, see if you can bring them up in this 90-degree angle. You're going to lift your upper body up. Your palms are going to face towards each other and away from you, lifting your shoulder blades off the mat. If that's too much, your hands behind your head or your head back down on the mat. Toes can be down on the mat and your upper body can be up. Should feel a little bit of something going on right at your ab area, your core. And just hold 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale as you just bring your knees in and give yourself that hug. Again, just maybe pedaling your feet this time, squeezing your toes, relaxing them. Deep breath. Arms are going to go out to the side. You're going to drop your knees to the right. So see if you can get your knees on top of each other, your hips on top of each other, looking up. If this really, really just feels nice and easy to you, you can look to the left. But I'd advise you just look up to the ceiling right now. Let your shoulders relax into your mat or the floor. Twisting always, always at your waist. Breathe. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. Okay, try to use a breath, an inhale or an exhale to bring your knees up through center. And then let's drop them to the left. So now your knees on top of each other. Your hips on top of each other on this side, noticing any difference between the right side of your body and the left. Your twist is at your waist. You can actually use your right hand to kind of push your lower back towards the left-hand side of your mat if you need to kind of get those hips on top of each other, looking up or over to the right, whatever again feels good. Remembering that you can always be slightly uncomfortable in yoga, but never, ever, ever pain. So if anything we do today or on any of the other videos or anything you do when you're physically active, if something feels wrong to you, just stop doing it or make a modification if you need to. Use a breath to come back to center. Give yourself that hug again. You're going to cross at your ankles. Grab behind your hamstrings, so somewhere on the back side of your upper leg. We're going to rock a couple of times till you can come up to a seated position. If you need to just roll over to one side and push yourself up, perfectly fine. And then from here, we're going to take your right leg and bend it, and your left leg is going to extend away. So as far as you can bend this leg, this is about as far as my knee bends these days. This toe, or these toes, are pointing straight up. If you have a strap or towel, you're going to place it around your foot, and you're going to sit nice and tall. You're going to pull those toes towards you. You should feel a really nice stretch in your calf muscles. If you need to bend your knee, fine, but with a strap or towel, you shouldn't have to bend the knee. You should be able to just let go of the strap a little bit to push through that heel and stretch those calf muscles. If you do not have a strap or towel, you're just holding onto your leg, flexing your foot, maybe reaching for your toes if you cannot reach. perfectly fine to just flex your foot. So from here, we're going to try to keep that flex in your foot. Bend your knee if you need to. You're going to take more of the right side of your body and come forward on an exhale. So you're going to hold on the left side of your left leg, or the left side really of that strap, dropping your right shoulder down. So you have a little bit of a twist going on at your waist, and you're feeling that nice stretch of this quadratus lumborum muscle. So down here in the villages, we play a lot of golf, a lot of pickleball, and that muscle on each side works very hard to help us twist and turn. It gets tight, so anytime you can stretch it out is a very, very good thing. Take a breath, then sit nice and tall, let go of the strap or towel or leg, and just twist yourself to the right. Pushing down into the mat with your hips, up through your spine, twisting back behind you. Just a little counter pose to what we just did. Come on back to center, and we're going to switch to the opposite side. So your right leg extends, your left knee bends, and we start the whole thing again. So let's flex your foot. I'll do it this time without the strap. So if you have a strap or towel around your foot, if you can just reach your leg somewhere or just the floor, that's fine. You want to flex the toes, flex the feet, and sit nice and tall. So try not to slump over, so I can't see you in your living rooms to notice what you're doing with that chin, but I would prefer that you not dump it down into your chest. So keep your gaze on those toes. One more breath. Then you're going to drop your left shoulder down, hold on the outside of your right leg somewhere, or just adjust that strap or towel, maybe in your left hand, so that you're twisting at your waist a little bit. Your heart is right over that knee. And again, it doesn't have to be very far, as long as you are feeling it right here on the side, big mid-back muscle, quadratus lumborum. That is where you want to be. So luckily, in a stretch like this, you cannot see what anybody else is doing. So don't compare yourself to anybody. Just breathe. One more breath. And then let go of that towel, strap, or leg. Sit up nice and tall, and let's twist to the opposite side. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your nose. One more breath. You're going to come back to center. So we're going to move that strap or towel out of the way. And you're going to swing those feet around so that you are in hands and knees pose. So long end of your mat. Hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. So we're not going to stay here long. You're just going to open up your knees. Big toes come together. You're going to push your hips back and your hands are going to go forward. So right now when I do this, my feet start to cramp up. Sometimes that happens to me, so it's perfectly fine for you just to flex your feet, work out those cramps. But this is child's pose. So your head goes down as far as it will. Your hips go down as far as they will. So you can be on your forearms if that helps you push back into your hips a little bit more. You can stack your fists. Put that towel or pillow or block underneath your forehead. And then from child's pose, we're going to go right into downward facing dog. So you reach your arms out. You bring your upper body up a little bit, bring your knees in line with those hands and your hips, tuck your toes, and then push your upper body towards your thighs as you lift your hips nice and high. So you can walk your feet forward just a little bit if you need to, but you can see that I'm using the majority of my mat. Obviously, it depends on how tall you are, and I'm about 5'7", but mostly you use the majority of your mat. You can bend your knees. I'd rather not have you look at your hands. Just tuck your chin, let your head just kind of dangle, and just work on straightening the knees, lifting the hips, and breathing. Then everybody's going to look up at their hands and just walk your feet up till you get to forward fold, and then you just slowly walk up to a standing position. And you can face whichever way you want towards your camera or your Facebook or whatever you got open, whatever video you're streaming on. So in my yoga classes, we always come from down to up. We move into fix your hair and fix your clothes pose. So feel free to do that. If you need to make any adjustments to your clothes or your hair, feel free to do that. Then you find mountain pose. So toes are in line with each other. The closer your feet are together, the little bit harder it is to balance. Your feet can be hip distance apart, which is just about where I like mine. That's where they are. My feet are when I'm riding my bike, when I'm walking, running. And if you need a little bit more support, your feet are a little bit wider. You decide again what works. Eyes shut. Hands either at your heart or at your side. Big deep breaths. You have 3 deep breaths, as still as you can be. All right, you're going to bring your hands down at your side. You're going to take your feet. Let's actually just leave your feet right here. Let's inhale your arms up. Exhale your palms away, nice and slow. And let's do that one more time. Inhale up and exhale down. This time we'll add a forward fold. So you're going to inhale up, fold forward at your hip, so not at your waist. Find your hip joint, slightly bend your knees or bend them more. Reach down as far as you can, and then come right back up. All the way up, arms all the way up. Exhale all the way back down. So you have lots of options. Please remember that this is called mountain pose at the top, and it's forward fold at the bottom. It is not touch your toes pose. So if you cannot reach your toes, perfectly fine to come halfway, or to even bend your knees enough so that you can reach the floor or your toes. And then just push off into the mat, rising up, and then let your breath go as you come back down. You do you today, and remember that whatever you're doing is definitely enough. Your backs of your legs should be getting warm. Should be lengthening out as you fold forward. They should be strengthening as you rise up. So wherever you're at, let's end in your standing mountain pose. Hands wherever you need them to be. Eyes shut. We'll take 2 or 3 breaths. Then you're going to take your feet wide this time. You're going to take your right toes and point them so that they're at the right side of your mat or reaching to the right. And your left leg is going to be straight, but your toes are going to come in a little bit. So right toes pointing that way, left toes pointing this way. And you're just going to bend that knee on the right until it comes right over your ankle. If it needs to be behind it a little bit, perfectly fine. It should not be forward of the ankle. So not here, it should be here or a little bit here. So this back leg straight and strong. Your even weight, shoulders right over your hips. Your arms are going to go out to the side. You're going to glance over that middle right finger. This is Warrior Two. We work on opening up the chest by up and down with those shoulders. We open our hips by squeezing your glutes. And we also work on opening your chest by reaching out through those fingertips. Breathe. All right, let's turn this palm up. So right palm up. You're going to reach towards the right. Still your chest and your face facing forward till you can't go anymore. And then you're going to lift that right arm up, left arm down. In Sun Warrior, Exalted Warrior, lots of different names. You should feel a nice long stretch in your torso, especially on the right side. And you should feel your legs working, both of them. You're pushing into those feet, nice and equal. See if you can lift up a little bit more with those right fingers, down with your left fingers. Looking up, forward, down, whatever feels good. Leaving your legs right where they are. Again, they should probably start to burn a little bit. Just tip right over into side angle. Right, left arm up. Right arm lightly resting on that thigh. Or better yet, straighten that arm so you're not resting at all. A block or your books could be right underneath you. Looking up or down. Breathing. This shoulder, the top shoulder, back a little bit to open up your chest. Try not to have your shoulders facing the floor. They're stacked on top of each other, and you're breathing. Take one more breath. Let's inhale as you rise up, straightening this leg, turning all 10 toes to the front, inhaling your arms up, and exhaling them as you fold forward. So again, if you can reach the floor, great. If you can't, it's still great. Tuck your chin, maybe hold on to your legs. Maybe just bend your knees and put your elbows on your legs and look a little bit forward. Whatever you need to do, you can kind of rock side to side. Just kind of resetting ourselves so that we can go to the next side. All right, slowly just stand up. Slowly, slowly, slowly looking down at the floor till the last possible moment. And then you're going to take your left toes, point them all the way to the left. The right toes are going to come in. So your right toes are at, or right foot is in an angle. Your left knee bends over that ankle. So what did we do on the other side? We did Warrior Two first. So arms straight out, shoulders up, back, and down. Glance over that middle finger on the left hand. The back arm straight back behind you. Nice long torso, so extend up through your spine. Sink down into your hips. Breathe. Shoulders are directly in line with your hips. Clear your mind and just breathe. All right, left palm turns up. Slide forward till you can't go anymore. And then lift that arm up, resisting, and reach your right arm down. Now more length in the left side of your body, pushing equally into those feet and legs, strengthening the legs with this isometric hold and breathing. One more breath, leaving your legs right where they are. Just tip over to the left and your right arm goes straight up. Left fingers reach down, either to the block or lightly resting your elbow. You should be able to draw a little circle on your thigh and breathe. Bring those shoulder blades together. Squeeze those glute muscles. Feel your hips open with that squeeze. Two more breaths. Push down into both feet as you stand up, straightening both legs, turning your toes to the front, inhaling your arms up, exhaling as you fold forward. Let's just scoot your feet in a couple of times, so heel toe all the way in until your feet are in your standing mountain pose, wherever you were with your feet before, and then just slowly rise up. Big shoulder roll up, back, and down, and then we'll do one standing balance pose before we lay down. So we're going to just do tree. Lots of options in tree. We're going to shift over to your right. If you know what you're doing in tree, please feel free to go ahead and get into it. So your options are to always stay on your left toes. Slightly bend your right knee. You can just bring your foot up and bring your knee in front. You can bring your foot to your inner lower leg with your knee out so that your hips stay open. You can bring your foot all the way up to your inner thigh, where my knee doesn't bend that way anymore, so you can bring it up here. You never want to place it on your knee joint, so please be mindful of that. Lower leg, inner thigh. And if you have the flexibility to bring that foot all the way up to your hip joint, more power to you. Your hands wherever you want, heart center, at your side, or grow your tree with your arms, branches up. You find your focal point and you stare at it. Something in front of you that's not moving. And I always like to hold my balances for at least 5 breaths. Let's slowly bring that down. Bring your feet wide and just a little rotation through your spine. Other side. So let's put your weight on your left foot, nice and tall, nice and firm into the foot. So toes down on the right if you want. Lift your knee just slightly up in the front. This would just be more of a parallel tree. Full tree would be your knee out to the side, your hips open. Hands either at your side, your heart, or up overhead. Again, your foot can be on your inner thigh, just not on that knee joint. Really think about lengthening up, pushing down, finding where you want to be, finding your focal point that's not moving, and breathe. Both feet down, both feet wide, and then twist. So I hear a lot of mumbling in my real live classes of people saying, oh, I just can't balance, I just can't balance. But if you think you can't, then you can't. So change your mindset on balancing. Just do your best. We don't do balance to frustrate ourselves, even though sometimes it can be frustrating. We do it to make ourselves stronger and more balanced. So just keep working on it. We are going to come down to the mat. So come to the top of your mat, which might be up in front of you. For me, it's over here. You're going to inhale up. You're going to exhale as you fold forward. And you're going to step both feet back into downward facing dog. You're going to lower your knees down. Swing your feet around as you sit down. And then I just want you to lay down on your back with your strap or towel nearby. We'll just do some gentle stretches, and then I'll put you into a final relaxation position, and we'll just restore our bodies stronger and longer. So lay on down if you're not already there. And let's just reach your arms up overhead and drop those knees side to side. You should feel like those knees drop further right and left than they did at the very beginning of class, hopefully. And if they don't, the more times you do this video or other yoga videos, the more flexible you will become, I promise. And then let's bring your knees back to center. Let's take your right leg and put it straight up in the air. So you're going to hold behind your hamstring, your calf, or you're going to grab onto your toes, or you're going to use whatever strap you have to push the heel up and the hip down. So your left knee, it can stay bent. You can straighten it. You're going to feel a little bit more in your hip flexor there if your leg is straight, but keeping it bent, perfectly fine. You want to avoid bending your knee just to get that leg closer to you. I'd rather you be longer and straighter away from you than bent and closer. So you decide what works without locking that knee. And breathe. Just feel length in the back side of your right leg. And then straighten your left leg if it's bent. You're going to take the right leg and just let it drop all the way over to your left side. So it's a big twist at your waist. You can put your right arm out to the side. And if that feels like that's way too much for you today, please go ahead and just bend your left knee underneath that leg. It'll take away the bigger twist. You just make adjustments where it feels good for you. You should have a glute stretch, an outer thigh stretch, and a big twist at your waist, all on the right side of your body. Breathe, inhale, and exhale. Let's bring that leg back up through center. And then let's see about dropping it out to your right. So your left arm goes out, your leg drops. I would ask you to straighten your left leg now. And you're just working on a 90-degree angle. It doesn't matter what size that angle is, as long as you're feeling it in your inner thigh on the right side. And you feel a nice open space at your hips, your chest, your shoulders. Big deep breaths. You should feel like your breath and gravity is taking that leg a little bit closer to the floor. And then let's come back to center. Bring that right knee in. Give yourself a little half of a hug. And then let's switch sides. So I'm just going to show you this side without a strap or a towel. Your right foot down, your left leg up, holding behind your hamstring, your calf, or your toes, the strap around your foot if you have one. Just don't pull right behind your knee joint if you're using your hands. Your right leg can be extended, or you can keep it bent. And again, just keep that leg as straight as you can. That's why I like to use some sort of strap or towel so that my leg can be a little further away when my hamstrings are tight and I can't get my leg closer without bending my knee. Let's do 2 more big breaths. Then we're going to take that left leg and we're going to twist at your waist and let it drop all the way over, trying to get your foot all the way over, even if that means your shoulder blade comes off the mat on the left side. Try to get that left foot down onto the right side of your mat. And then just work on twisting back over. Just make sure that you feel the twist at your waist and you feel a nice length pretty much from your outer thigh, your glutes, all the way up through your shoulder. Big, deep breaths. Let's do 1 more breath. Use an inhale or an exhale to bring that leg back through center. And then we're going to drop it over to the left. So you want to work again on that straight leg. If you don't have a strap or a towel and this feels way too uncomfortable because you can't reach your toe, which I wouldn't expect most people to be able to do, you can bend your knee and bring your hand at your hamstrings to just open up that inner thigh and your hip. So do what works for you. Just make sure that you're feeling it in your inner thigh, left side. 3 big, deep breaths. Let's come on back to center. Bring that knee in. Give yourself a big hug. Just that left knee. Then bring your right knee in. Give yourself that big hug with both knees in. Turn your feet again around your ankle joints. Opposite direction. Then we're going to put the bottoms of your feet together. Your knees are bent and away from your inner from the midline of your body, and then just lower your lower body down to the mat, letting your knees just drop down. Your arms can be up overhead in a T position, in a goalpost position. You can touch your fingers, you can touch your thumbs. Your hands can be right at your inner thighs. Walk each shoulder blade down away from your ears. And breathe. And then let's slowly bring your knees back up to center, your feet flat on the floor. One at a time, just extend both legs. Let your toes fall away from you. Let your hands be at your side. And you're in the perfect position for final relaxation. But you can be in a different position. If you have a wall near you, I would recommend putting your legs up the wall, where you put your hips nice and close to the wall, your legs go straight up. It's a fabulous relaxation position. So I'll show that. I'd also recommend that you put a towel or some sort of eye pillow over your eyes. And then we're going to lay here for just about 4 or 5 minutes, as quiet and as still as you can. I'm going to check the clock to make sure that I don't forget you. So don't worry, I won't fall asleep. So please feel free to just turn out your lights, shut your eyes, lock the door, and just breathe. Relaxing your body into your mat. And if you're curious to know about legs up the wall, you would just be like this with your arms doing whatever. As quiet and as still as you can be. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes wherever you're at. Stretching your arms up overhead and giving yourself a big full body stretch. Taking really, really deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth now, if that feels better for you. You can bend your knees and rock side to side. If your legs are up the wall, just slowly start to move yourself into a little fetal position. And everybody else can just roll onto one side or the other, whichever side feels most comfortable. And then slowly just push yourself up into a seated position. So you're sitting tall right where we started at the very beginning of class. And we'll just take a couple of breaths together and then I'll let you be on your way for the day. Palms open. Let's inhale up. Exhale as you let out a big ah. 2 more times. Inhale. Ah. And 1 more time. Ah. Thank you so much for coming and watching the video today. Again, my name is Suzanne and I'm down here in the Villages in Florida. Come visit us anytime if you're not already here. Have a fabulous day. Namaste.